Welcome everyone to the Moisky News for March 2nd, 2020. Today I want to discuss something that happened over the weekend. No, not Boris Johnson announcing he's getting engaged and that his partner is pregnant. Congratulations, mazel tov, I don't care. Instead, I want to talk about Priti Patel, a civil servant by the name of Sir Philip Rutnam. After 30 years of working in the Home Office, quit. And he made a very public speech, which I'm going to link below. During the speech, he believes and has accused the Home Office and Priti Patel especially of a targeted, vicious and orchestrated briefing campaign to push him out, with him also accusing her of bullying. I don't like bullying, but things need to be very much open when this goes to the next stage, which it will, because he's escalating this. And if true, rightly so. So what has been the fallout from this? Well, one of the Labour leadership hopefuls, in fact, tweeted on the BBC link of the interview or the speech statement that was given by Sir Philip Rutnam, where Sir Keir Starmer took a very level, I would say level stance. Sir Philip Rutnam has made very serious allegations about the conduct of the Home Secretary Priti Patel, which, by the way, has been going on for a while. There have been accusations for quite some time. It is unprecedented that a senior civil servant has raised concerns like this in such a public way. Effective government demands that all those who dedicate themselves to public service can do so in an environment free of bullying and harassment. There are now urgent questions that must be answered and steps that need to be taken. First, the Cabinet Secretary should launch an immediate investigation into the circumstances surrounding Sir Philip Rutnam's departure. Second, the Home Secretary has a duty to come to Parliament on Monday to explain the allegations made about her own conduct. Third, over recent weeks there has been growing evidence of a serious breakdown of government. The Prime Minister's handling of the flooding and coronavirus has been woeful. Advisers in Number 10 are out of control, and attacks on the civil service are growing. I would therefore call on the Liaison Committee to hold an urgent inquiry into the culture and workings of government. Johnson may have won the election, but he is losing a grip on his government, and the British people are paying the price. He must be held to account. There are a few points within this that I do take some minor issue with, but for the most part, I actually agree with what he has said. And his knowledge of the process that should in fact now take place is actually accurate. There should be an inquiry. Priti Patel should be brought back to Parliament to answer urgent questions about this. However, I would point out, it needs to come from people who aren't then going to just disagree with what she says, cause the questions need to be in depth. We're not going to get much really from those urgent questions, but it does give a chance to try and understand the position of the government, which, rather interestingly, have decided to back Priti Patel. The court of public opinion, well, there are a number of hashtags that were doing their rounds, all denouncing Priti Patel and then they railed on her for a previous job where she met up with, I believe, Israeli officials without permission. Oops. Pointing out she can't be trusted. And the comments that Keir Starmer has made with regards to the current government and the flooding, coronavirus, the Chancellor of the Exchequer, the advisers, i.e. just Dominic Cummings, the Prime Minister, and so on, are pretty much on point, because the government dawdled, and they should not have dawdled. This is going to create more fear and hysteria, and with the coronavirus especially, yeah, things are getting a little more serious, aren't they? To the point where the government has now been seen to do something about 2-3 weeks later than they should have started doing something in the first place. To go back to the hashtags where people pointed out the Israeli meetup, they also pointed out that when she was Employment Minister, there were actually a number of formal complaints made against her conduct, and those were barely ever touched upon. It should be noted right now, the First Division Association Union, that represents senior civil servants like Sir Philip Rutnam, has called on Sir Mark Sedwill, the Cabinet Secretary, to launch an independent inquiry into Priti Patel's behaviour, pointing out this should be led by an external lawyer who has access to ministers' and special advisors' communication records, and that there is also a need for reform of the process by which civil servants can in fact raise complaints about ministers. At time of recording, as earlier stated, Priti Patel's position is secure. With the Employment Tribunal in the possible near future, this could in fact build up over the next few weeks, which in fact acts as a rather interesting distraction from the early negotiations of our Brexit deal. Perhaps now it would be good to actually address what Sir Philip Rutnam said about what had happened while he was there and when Priti Patel started in that job. The accusations would include swearing, belittling people, making unreasonable and repeated demands. A number of MPs besides Sir Keir Starmer believe that this should be the straw that breaks the camel's back on her frontbench career. I don't think that will happen, because I think she'll do what Boris says, and at this present moment in time, Dominic Cummings, the Prime Minister, will want that. Yes, I'm going to keep calling him that, because at the present time, I'm not convinced Boris is actually the PM. I could be wrong, though. Hopefully, in the near future, Priti Patel will offer a statement on what she is accused of from Sir Philip Rutnam. And with this, I'm going to link a number of sources. I'm very much interested to see and hear what you think, so please do let me know in the comments down below.